It's the most wonderful time of the year again, and we are excited about the season. It's that time when we spend time with family, give gifts, share the love, and most importantly, gather around the TV to watch Christmas movies together and share a good laugh, or tears maybe. I mean, what is Christmas without the feels? Here are our top 15 greatest Christmas movies of all time. Do you want to know what our number one pick is? Hang in there and watch till the end. Number 15, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, 1989. Christmas Vacation is precisely what the holiday feels like for so many people, in years other than 2020. The feuding in-laws, cramped quarters, tight funds, tree disasters, awkward conversations, delusions, and high-stress moments ring so true. Whether you're a kid laughing at a squirrel running amok or a parent looking at a chainsaw-wielding Clark, Julia Louis-Dreyfus absolutely crushes this pre-Seinfeld role as the rude, yuppie neighbor. But you can't forget Clark, stuck in his own attic, wrapped in an old coat, watching his old home movies while softly crying, tears rolling into his wide grin. The nostalgia, the pain, and the struggle to make those memories real one more time for the next generation. Now that's Christmas. Number 14, Gremlins, 1984. Who would have thought a horror movie would be on this list? Gremlins is arguably the best Christmas horror movie ever made. Don't be deceived because of the season. While the 1990 sequel is a more family-friendly movie, the original is a scary and violent watch. It follows a struggling inventor who gives his son a strange gift from Chinatown, a mogwai. His son, however, fails to follow one of the 3 rules of raising it. He feeds the pet after midnight, and let's just say you wouldn't want to find a mogwai under the Christmas tree by the time you are done watching. Number 13, Love Actually, 2003. Who would have thought that a story following 8 different couples grappling with their love lives would become a family favorite? Richard Curtis pulled out all the stops on this one with an all-star cast that includes Colin Firth, Hugh Grant, Emma Thompson, and Keira Knightley. The sequence where Emma Thompson unwraps her Christmas present from her husband and realizes that he is pursuing another woman is absolutely heart-wrenching. But don't be discouraged. There are many other lighter scenes. It also boasts of the perfect Christmas soundtrack. If all this sounds like gibberish to you, what are you waiting for? Watch it. Number 12, Scrooged, 1998. The name already says it all. Yes, it's a modern adaptation of the Charles Dickens classic A Christmas Carol. It's about a maniacal, ultimate power wielded by major cable corporations. Bill Murray is at his best as he plays Frank Cross, a high-powered and incredibly heartless TV executive. The latter learns the meaning of Christmas and life in general when he is visited by a succession of 3 ghosts on Christmas Eve. This is only more proof that Charles Dickens is responsible for so much Christmas content. Scrooged has more range than most Christmas films, as it is a hybrid of Saturday Night Live-style comedy and a huge dose of dark surrealism. Number 11, Joya Noel, 2005. This movie finds warmth in the trenches of World War I. It chronicles the truce that occurred in December 1914. Against high-ranking officers' wishes, troops put down their weapons to turn the German front lines into one big no-man's land. Though the movie's individual stories were fictitious, the story is based on what happened on Christmas Eve in 1914. German soldiers began playing music familiar to both German and British soldiers. Soon the troops on either side struck an informal truce where they visited each other, shared food, and exchanged gifts. The next day, troops even warned each other of planned shellings and offered refuge in each other's trenches when the shellings occurred. Afterwards, just like in the movie, Army generals ensured it would not happen again. At Christmas time, generals stepped up the fighting to ensure no one would even think of a truce in the following war years. Movie reminds us that we are human first and foremost before any other thing. It reminds us that the natural human impulse is for peace and not war. Number 10, The Nightmare Before Christmas, 1993. This is definitely one for you if you like your Christmas movies with a dark, twisted theme. This film uniquely approaches the festive spirit with Jack Skellington, the Pumpkin King of Halloween Town, stumbling on a portal that takes him into Christmas Town, where the children are tossing snowballs instead of tossing heads. Tim Burton and director Henry Selick created an entire universe very unlike anything we have seen before, with supporting characters like the eccentric brain-tampering Dr. Finkelstein, the super creepy antagonist Oogie Boogie, and the two-faced mayor of Halloween Town. With a fantastic score and music by Danny Elfman, the movie boasts of one of the best original film compositions of the decade, which made it a must-watch back in 1993 when it was released. 27 years since its release, the movie continues to earn acclaim for its unique blending of genre and for its impeccable stop motion. So, if you have a taste for the dark and twisted, what are you waiting for? Dive in! Number 9. How the Grinch Stole Christmas, 2000. This memorable Christmas movie adapted from the 1957 book How the Grinch Stole Christmas by Dr. Seuss is definitely one for this list. Starring Jim Carrey as the Grinch, you can't help but be overwhelmed by his physical comedic performance. His interpretation of the Grinch is exaggerated in every sense of the word. Whether he's parading around his Mount Crumpet home alongside his faithful dog Max, gleefully adjusting the mail system in such a way that the people of Whoville get blackmail and jury duty rather than gifts, or singing along with his new friends at the end of the film. There is no other person who would have played the role to full perfection as Jim Carrey did. He got viewers to really sympathize with him after he was ridiculed by the residents of Whoville. At that moment, we all felt like the outcast. The 2018 reboot was also a crowd pleaser and well received by critics, but Jim Carrey's performance back in 2000 absolutely takes no prisoners. Number 8. Meet Me in St. Louis, 1944. Popularly known as the film Judy Garland sang the classic Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas, the movie tells the story of a year in the Smith family life in St. Louis, leading up to the opening of the Louisiana Purchase Exposition in the spring of 1904. In 1994, the film was deemed culturally significant by the Library of Congress and selected for preservation in the United States National Film Registry. The festive classic song Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas that debuted in the movie continues to be a massive hit even over 70 years later. It is still one of the most recognizable songs of the holiday season. Regardless, Meet Me in St. Louis is a heartwarming musical that is sure to warm your bones during the cold winter nights. Number 7. Home Alone, 1990. When 8-year-old Kevin, with his 2 hands on either side of his face and a raise of his eyebrow, said, "I made my family disappear," he charmed his way into our hearts. After being left behind by his parents, Kevin McAllister fights to defend his house from 2 burglars convincingly played by Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern. With Kevin's bone-crushing booby traps that satisfy the inner sadist in us, and his innocent, charming looks, you can't help but feel happy and sad at the same time. Home Alone made its mark as the family holiday movie without the family. It doesn't work its magic without Christmas. The season heightens everything Kevin experiences alone, from dealing with the chores he has never done before to chopping down and trimming his own Christmas tree. There is also a healthy slapstick comedy dose with Catherine O'Hara and John Candy serving some hilarious comedy. This is a must-watch for the entire family, as the kids will be talking about it for days on end. Number 6. The Shop Around the Corner. If you loved You've Got Mail with Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan, then you will definitely love the movie it is based on. The Shop Around the Corner stars Margaret Sullivan and James Stewart as the star-crossed enemies turned lovers. In the pre-internet version of the story, the leads fall for each other via anonymous pen pal letters, culminating in a romantic Christmas Eve reveal. It is considered one of the finest romantic comedies ever released and continues to receive acclaim for its brilliant screenplay and superb performances from the 2 leads. Number 5. Scrooge, or A Christmas Carol, 1951. With many adaptations of this story, this 1951 version with Alastair Sim in the lead role takes no prisoners. It is a full-on ghost story as an increasing horrific dread hangs over the entire film. It was first released as Scrooge in the UK, but the title was changed to A Christmas Carol when released in America. Alastair Sim gives a dynamic, multi-layered portrayal of Ebenezer Scrooge. He effortlessly portrays the flawed character, both despicable and deserving of empathy. It is noteworthy that Scrooge is darker than many versions before it. It emphasizes some of Dickens' critical subject matter, like poverty and despair. It offers a gloomy look into Scrooge's world, but also shows genuine moments of joy, like when Scrooge becomes a new man because of his traumatizing Christmas Eve experience. The 1951 version of A Christmas Carol is a timeless classic that captures the essence of the original story. Number 4. Miracle on 34th Street, 1947. It is not surprising that the original Miracle on 34th Street is still a Christmas favorite even after over 70 years. Could it be because of its absolutely perfect concept of putting Santa on trial? Well, that remains to be seen. However, the movie boasts superb and almost perfect performances from Natalie Wood as the 8-year-old non-believer whose performance is probably still the gold standard of performances by a kid actor. Could its timelessness also be due to its portrayal of a career woman and divorced single mom played by Maureen O'Hara in 1947? How progressive could it get? Kudos must also be given to Edmund Gwynn and Kris Kringle, the kindly old man who honestly believes he is Santa Claus. He won an Oscar for the role. Yes, you heard that right. He won an Oscar for playing Santa Claus. It has been remade 4 times, but the 1947 version stands out with the overwhelming cast and timeless story. I mean, what could be said about a movie that is about believing in miracles and having hope when there isn't any? This beloved classic will surely warm even the Scroogiest of hearts. Number 3. Elf, 2003. Arguably the best Christmas movie of the century. Okay, maybe that's a bit far-fetched, seeing as the century is only a couple decades old. Elf is the Christmas movie which made Will Ferrell a household name in 2003. He plays lovable Buddy, an oversized elf who seeks his human father's love after arriving in New York. This movie is also the first major directional project for Jon Favreau. He has directed some major movies like Iron Man, Jungle Book, and the Lion King live-action movie. Elf never pretends to be too cool to love Christmas. It is shameless and unrestrained in its obsessive affection for Christmas. From the message of family to its music and festive atmosphere, everything about it is so Christmassy. Number 2. It's a Wonderful Life, 1946. This is hands down the best Christmas movie ever made, and there is a reason why watching Frank Capra's It's a Wonderful Life after over 70 years remains relevant to Christmas today. The life-affirming movie focuses on George Bailey, a man struggling to balance his failing finances with an unhappy life at home. He encounters Clarence, his guardian angel, after traveling to a bridge to end his life. His guardian angel gradually reminds George of all the joy, love, and happiness in his life. Jimmy Stewart delivers an emotionally charged, charismatic performance in this timeless story. The pain is timeless and very relatable as George Bailey watches all of his big dreams slip away as life keeps happening to him. In its entirety, It's a Wonderful Life reminds you that your life is wonderful because you are alive. I mean, it's Christmas, the most wonderful time of the year. It is definitely not the time to lose faith in humanity. What better time for a message such as this? Number 1. Die Hard, 1988. And at number 1, we have Die Hard. You are probably wondering at this point, how did Die Hard get on this list? So yes, it is an action movie, but it is also a Christmas classic. It begins on December 24 at a holiday party gone wrong. There's also some snow, plus the soundtrack includes Winter Wonderland. For your information, Die Hard is everything every Christmas movie should be. With a combination of the tropes of the genre, it has the baddie from The Grinch who stole Christmas, the unbeatable hero who shows up to teach everyone a lesson from Miracle on 34th Street, the ghosts of past, present, and future who bring insight and change from A Christmas Carol, with a good dose of the age-long struggle of good and evil, all in a package of explosives and bullets. How Christmassy can it get? And there you have it, the top 15 greatest Christmas movies of all time. Is there any other movie you think should have made the list? Let us know in the comments. To get more content like this, hit the like button, subscribe, and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.